Our next author is one who's written about something that also applies very much to today's theme. This book is called Marriage Happiness is Possible, The Guide to a Purposeful and Passionate Relationship by Bill Hutcheson. How's it going, Bill?
Hey, all right. How are you, man? Good to see you.
Pretty good, thanks. So, marriage happiness is possible. Tell us about that. How's that so?
Well, you and I both know couples who were very happy when they first got married.
Oh, yeah.
They could remember, on the honeymoon, walking on the beach or dining under the stars.
Mm-hmm.
They remembered long dinners and conversations. They remembered lingering kisses, early.
Yeah.
But now they've realized that something's missing. And, if that describes your relationship, I've written that book exactly for you. For 38 years, I was taken into the confidence of couples as a pastor, and I don't know how many people described that kind of loss, fading in their marriage. And so it's been my privilege to help couples find that, and not just find that happiness, but find something that lasts and know how to have that happiness to continue.
Yeah, I can totally corroborate that. As a relationship coach, I see many clients who have been in relationships that usually end around like the 2-year mark or so, especially like when that initial passion starts to wear off, which we know happens in every single relationship. If you don't do the work to keep passion alive, it will fade away. So what are some of the things that you tend to recommend to a client who's in a marriage where the passion has faded and things aren't like they used to be?
Well, there are a number of tools that we look at when we talk about that. For example, one tool is looking at how selfless are we in our relationship, because the thing that squelches so many relationships is the idea that, my partner is not meeting my needs. And what I like to tell folks is, look, if you forget about your needs and meet your partner's needs, and your partner forgets about her needs and meets your needs, then everybody's a winner.
Yeah.
So selflessness is the key to that. Now, there are other tools, too. There's something I use called the 5 love languages that has a guarantee, if people know how to use it, has a guarantee that they will always have passion in their marriage, which is something neat because, after 5-10 years, life just kind of steals that stuff.
Yeah.
And so, you may find yourself still loving the person you're married to, but not feeling the love between you. There's nothing bad going on. There's just nothing good going on like you want. And so 5 love languages, and as we talk about how to use that's a great guarantee for couples.
Okay. So you mentioned that you're a pastor for many, 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 many years, right?
Yes.
Is there a pattern that you see in terms of like the root causes of why that happiness tends to fade in people's relationships? Like, what have you seen be the primary reasons that someone would come to you with those issues?
It may surprise you, but the number one symptom of that is people make happiness the goal of marriage. And when you make happiness the goal of marriage, it never tends to materialize. Because, what I tell couples is if you do marriage God's way with God's help, you get God's result, which is a passionate, divinely passionate, and purposeful relationship with lasting happiness as a byproduct. It's like the sprinkles on the icing of the marriage cake, happiness is. And if they look great, but they really don't add a whole lot to the real cake,
Yeah.
So it's to understand the real goal of marriage in its selfless love, and to help people understand that when you can love someone selflessly, that's when happiness begins to settle on you like that butterfly you chase and you never catch, but when you're still lights on your shoulder,
Wow. That's a great point, Bill. And we have a question for you from the audience. This comes from Kate, who wants to know, how do you help yourself when you are feeling discouraged right? When you're in the process of writing a book and you're just like, I'm not feeling it anymore. What are some things that you did to keep yourself going when you were writing your book?
Well, that's a very good question, because everybody who's written a book, and this is only my first book, but you're going to feel discouragement, personally.
Yeah.
And I've talked to other author friends here through this process. You experience the doubt in yourself, and I had to back away, step back for a moment, take a breath, both physically and emotionally, and remember not what's going on with me, but remember those folks whom I wish to serve.
Yeah.
Because that's what kept me going. It wasn't the book itself. It was those persons who would read the book and benefit from it, and may allow me to help them benefit from it.
You mentioned earlier the bit about the butterfly, and I remember when I was going through the same process of getting my book written and feeling those moments of discouragement, one of the things that kept coming back to me was you have to become the person who wrote the book, and that transformation is what's hard. Like, we both know love is not pain, right? Love feels great, but growth can be very difficult sometimes, and writing a book always requires you to grow. And so my saying for myself was, in order to live life as a butterfly, you have to give up life as a caterpillar, right?
Yep.
You have to become that person who wrote the book. And it sounds like, or not sounds like, you actually did get through that process and become the butterfly who wrote Marriage Happiness is Possible. So it's really, really awesome. And again, the name of that book is Marriage Happiness is Possible. So fitting for today's theme. Congratulations, Bill.
Appreciate that, Amari.
Take it easy.